it's one of the most important things. I know that for myself, having a criminal history, being able to talk about who I am today and give tangible examples of how I've changed my life is critical.
Well, that is a clip from yesterday. That was John Jackson from Hustle 2.0. He joined ARC Salt Lake to discuss how his organization is helping getting jobs for those with a criminal record. We wanted to talk more about that today, so we are joined by our legal analyst, Skye Lazaro. With more on that, she's also going to talk about some other topics, but let's stick with that first topic, Skye. You have been a defense attorney for your entire career. Is this something that you've encountered where clients, former clients, they have had trouble entering or re-entering the workforce?
This is one of the things that isn't talked about enough is, people have a brush with the law or get in some trouble and end up with a criminal history. And then it's sort of forgotten about. If they get through all their court stuff, they have to go back out into society and figure out how to do life. And most of that is get a job and provide for their family. And it makes it very difficult. Utah is heavily driven employment wise by background checks. And it becomes just a bar to even having a conversation with someone to get a job. And when we look at things like recidivism and reducing crime, if people can't legally work and provide for their families, a lot of times that's what leads to higher crime in certain areas.
Yeah, and I feel like there might be a little bit of a hypocritical nature to this. Certainly people will say, oh, I want those who have a brush with the law, as you said, to be able to be held accountable, but then if they pay the price, they do their time, they should be able to come back out and re-enter society, but then the barriers are pretty hard to do that. Do you find that to be the case?
Absolutely. It's somewhat impossible sometimes for people, even people who have training or professional career type jobs or have worked in an industry for a long time. It's a bar for those people. So if you think about others who are coming out with criminal history who don't have any specialized experience, it's very, very difficult. I love this program. I've known Noelia for a long time. I love all the work that she's done with starting Clean Slate Utah and now transitioning to RASA and the work that they're doing to help people expunge their records. This is very important work. It's great for our society. And I understand that employers, we all think people should give these people a chance, but nobody wants to be the one to actually give them the chance. So I think this is a great program.
Have you ever had to personally advocate on behalf of a former client or client?
I have written, I can't tell you how many countless letters on behalf of former clients or current clients who are trying to keep their job, who are trying to get a job after they've completed everything with the court, just saying, hey, take a chance on this person. They've completed everything that they needed to complete. They're all the good sort of character traits about the individual. I can't tell you how many letters I've written to try to help people put their lives back together or keep them together.
Okay, a good program there. I want to switch topics with you. I want to discuss the Kouri Richins case. We had some developments last week. Her motion to disqualify the judge, that was dismissed. So what does that mean for a potential retrial? Also, what's the status of the mortgage fraud case that she's facing?
She's got several things going on. What we just saw the ruling come back on was what she filed with the district court. So under the rules, you can ask for a new trial if you think certain things went wrong that warrant you being able to get a new trial. That was denied. So she will be back for a restitution hearing on the case where she was convicted. And that's probably the last we'll see in the district court. She does currently still have an appeal pending. Those take quite a bit of time to get through all the briefing and have the Supreme Court make a decision. So I don't expect we'll hear anything on that. And then the pending case where she's still facing these mortgage fraud charges has really just been reset for status, I believe, sometime in October. It doesn't sound like her attorneys were ready to move forward to anything significant at this last hearing.
One of the other big Utah cases, the Tyler Robinson case, this one is a little, I guess, no duh to some people out there, but there was a court filing last week that really laid out the explicit motive for allegedly killing Charlie Kirk. What was in that filing?
We have to keep in mind this was a filing that the state filed. This was filed by the Utah County Attorney's Office. So this is their theory on the case and what they think they can prove. You know, coming out this strong this early with a filing like this is interesting because now you've pretty much made a promise to the public that this is what we believe, this is what we can show going forward. And really the crux of it was he was in a romantic relationship with his roommate who was considering transitioning or in the process of transitioning. And he really, according to the Utah County Attorney's Office, Tyler Robinson believed that Charlie Kirk was adverse to what he believed in terms of anti-gay or anti-LGBTQ type rhetoric.
Excellent. Okay, our last topic here. There was also some headlines last week about a judge in Utah that resigned, saying the workload for judges was unsustainable. Can you talk more about this? We got about 3 minutes left.
Yeah, to some extent. I think it's no secret that our legal system is overburdened. I don't know how else to put it. Our judges work very, very hard. They have a high caseload. The DA's office has a high caseload. Criminal defense lawyers have a high caseload, and that doesn't include civil cases or divorce cases, family law cases that are also moving through the system. It takes a lot of guts to come forward and say, look, we have a problem, and I think that should be a signal to our legislature that we need to do something about it. There need to be more resources. We need to take a look at judges' dockets, attorneys' dockets, and figure out a way to make this a little bit more workable.
Did this surprise you that it was this was a pretty drastic move on the part of that judge?
I've known this judge. I knew him as a prosecutor and a judge for quite some time. I have a lot of respect for him. I think he cares very much and very deeply about doing the job and doing the job right. I'm not surprised by what it was contained. I don't know that it's really a secret to any of us who work in it, but it takes a lot to come forward and say it publicly. I think for anyone in that position to resign, I mean, some attorneys spend their entire career working to get a spot on the bench and to finish their career as a judge. So to step down, I think in a situation like this, probably took a lot of soul searching and a lot of thought on his part and what the right thing to do was.
Okay, yeah, certainly a surprising step, surprising to some anyway. So Skye Lazaro, as always, we certainly appreciate you coming on and chatting about all things in the legal world. There's never a shortage of things to chat about, so we will certainly check in with you again next week, and we look forward to that. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me. Have a good day.